Hey, so for kind of guidance and expectations, here's kind of what you can expect. Um, I usually meet the kids at the door that's over by the water fountain. I greet them at the door. I give them a fist pound. They come in. They should already know to go to their dot spots and put their water bottles away if they have them. At that point, you kind of come up to the start cart, you introduce yourself, and then we can start our Friday, My Focus Friday warm up. What that looks like is they so when you put that up on the screen, it has a little 3-minute timer. So they should know at this point that the expectation is they can choose to do any of those models they want, or they can make up their own. Those models are only there in case they're not feeling very creative or they don't know what else to do. Friday's a little wacky because they can choose whatever they would like as long as it's safe and purposeful. So they are allowed to spin, they are allowed to do any cardio, muscular endurance, muscular strength movements, stretch. And I have recently been allowing them to leave their dot spot and go do some partner work. But the partner work should still be purposeful and safe. So it's not just silly whatever. It's like you're working with a friend or a couple friends, and you're making up a movement on your own. So that should only last for 3 minutes. At that point, on your little keychain thing, you should have a little light key. It's like the small key. And what I'll do is I'll go over to the lights that are over by the water fountain. It's like these little keyholes, and you just put the key in there on the left-hand one, and you turn it, I think, to the right, and that'll turn half the lights off. The kids know at this point it is time for our Friday mindful minute. And if you go to that next slide, you'll see that there's like a little sentence stem cue for them to think about as they're doing their mindful minute. So they should be laying down or sitting or just something very cozy. The directions are all on that slide. And I just start them out. I hold up that bell. I cue them up with the sentence stem of what they should be thinking about. And then I hit that yellow bell with the scissors. And that starts mindful minute. After about a minute or so, you can time it, or you can just best guess. I'll hit the bell a second time, and that means mindful minute is over. At that point, you can tell them that, hey, we're going to scoochy scooch, and we're going to chat about our thinking. So at that point, they can scoot together with a friend or a couple friends. A group of 3 is the maximum for this. And you can go to the next slide, and that will prompt them to do a 2-minute kind of turn and learn, turn and talk, talking about their learning. While they're doing that, you can go turn the lights back on. That 2 minutes goes up. Then you can call on maybe 2 or 3 kids to share out loud for the group their end of that sentence stem and just kind of discuss accordingly. So that's the same for K through 5. So for the morning after Mindful Minute, what they will do next is you'll set them up for their teams for Captain America Civil War. And after you set them up on their teams, you can actually, let me think about this for a second, because I think they should already know how to do this game. I'm just trying to think if I want to add anything to the game. So I think what we'll do is we'll probably leave it as is. What you can tell them is it'll be the same game they played on Thursday. The only difference being that if both castles are ever knocked down at the same time, then that round is over. You can stop the music. It's a point for that team, and you can go ahead and keep track of points on the board if you want. The previous way we played it is if a castle gets knocked down, you just keep playing. But if both castles are knocked down at the same time, or if one castle's down and the other one's kind of still being rebuilt, like they still have their hands on it, then that means they're both down. Okay, so at least one castle has to be fully up at all times in order for the game to continue. So this is hopefully going to encourage a lot more defense, a lot more teamwork, a lot more strategizing, because they're going to have to reset the game a bunch. One of the expectations is they will have to be really mindful of like doing quick transitions between setups, and while they're doing that, kind of encourage that positive spirit of the game, things like that. But that'll be the rest of your day for 3rd through 5th. For K1-2, they'll be playing a game called Ghost Town. They've already played it, but they still might be a little rough around the edges because it is still relatively new. That one, I'll put up again the teams on Class Dojo, so they'll should already know what teams they're on, and then they can set up their game. 10 buckets on each side with 10 pins. They should already know how to set this game up, but I'll explain a little bit in a video for them specifically. I'll have a video of me explaining it to them, so you don't have to worry too much about teaching that game. But that should be about it. Leave about 5 minutes before the end of class for them to clean up. We meet at the crew circle in the middle. We discuss how the day went, anything that we could have done better, and then we line up and go. So hopefully that goes well.